I'm live and feeling profound and regretting not putting my bins out because I'm going to get home a bit late tonight. Ain't that a bummer, putting your bins out in the dark? Anywho, how's everyone doing today? I'm on my way to town for my induction. I'm very excited, and I thought, I'll just listen to a podcast driving into town. And I was like, fuck it, I'll be the podcast. Hey, Scat Inquirer. Michelle Marie, hello. Sorry, Marie, mysterious Marie. How you doing? I'm heading into town for my induction. Nice start to my new role. It's only half a day, which is really lovely. And then dinner tonight, and then a full day tomorrow. Hey, Casper, how you doing, Groover? I saw you went for a drive. I think, was it yesterday? I seem to always miss your hoonums around. One day. Jamie, hello. What's up, Groovers? So my heading might be a little bit mysterious on a day where I'm pretty excited actually about heading to town and seeing one of my new bosses who I've met many times and who's great value and 20 years younger than me and high achiever but very groovy dude. They're all community legal type people, so they, they've got good hearts, but they're switched on people. I did. I had some really sad news, Casper, so yeah, I put it off. Didn't really feel like going live and talking about a serial killer after some pretty sad news, which kind of relates to the title of my live about human nature. Heard a little bit on YouTube today, which ties in with it as well, about what I thought we could chat about. But I don't want to get gloomy. I just want to offload this and not be thinking about it when I'm learning all my new shit. Thanks, Scout. But yeah, human nature, like we have access to so much information pre-COVID, traveling the world and having the privilege of listening to people share their stories, learning from them, experiencing things ourselves. Not so much experiencing things ourselves directly, but witnessing things and learning from that. And yet, for human beings to learn some of the biggest but also simplest rules of life, we don't really have a personal awakening until it happens to us. You can hear a sad story and empathise for someone or sympathise, feel sorry for them. No, it does not involve that, Casper. Not sure what my bad news? No. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't want to get too heavy, dude. I'm on my way in for my first day in a new job, so I don't know what you're talking about. Unless you're talking about the Australian of the Year who's from Tassie. Woohoo! Grace Tame. First Tasmanian to be Australian of the Year in the 61 years I've been doing it. A very inspirational girl. Challenged legislation and prevented herself from being silenced and being able to have her name published as a victim of SA. I'm not even going to read it, say it in its full term because apparently YouTube doesn't like that. So yeah, well done, to Grace Tame. Google her, awesome girl. And yeah, the first Tasmanian to ever be Australian of the Year. So a very happy and proud state. Just sad that she went through hell to become the inspiration she is. She is Mysterious Marie. She's great. And how empowering, you know, like, and it really will change. I'm so glad that the same sort of legislation that was being proposed in Victoria has been kicked off the face of the planet where it belongs, back in the bin where it came from. Not allowing victims' names to be published is the most backward thinking, disrespectful bullshit. Yes, sometimes victims need to be protected, minors, juveniles in court, stuff like that. But after the case is heard and you're still not able to speak out on it, no, fuck that. It's through conversations that things change. And I'm going to be doing a lot of advocacy this year and in this new role, where I'm going to be having conversations about awkward subjects too, but I'm sick and tired of those subjects being swept under the carpet and people in a position like I was in being forced to sign deeds that say you can't speak publicly about what happened. And it's like, well, as long as those conversations aren't happening, changes aren't going to happen. And also people in the same boat are not going to feel supported or understood. And other people are going to keep doing what they do without really sort of few, not even penalties, but, you know, they can just keep on doing it and act like nothing ever happened. And fuck that shit. I'm not going to be swept under a carpet. I don't plan on slandering anyone or saying anything bad or identifying people, but I certainly am not going to be silenced on what I've experienced. And I mean, I've experienced how horribly isolating the whole thing is, and a bit like my YouTube channel, if I can stop even one person from feeling isolated, even for a minute or two, then that is a really rewarding day for me. And that is my mission now till the day I die, is to make sure that every day I do something that doesn't make somebody, or do something to stop someone from feeling isolated. So yeah, expect some pretty loud conversations from me in the near future. I don't know, Marie, why they were even being suggested. It's disgusting. Shouldn't have even been tabled. I don't know what the point of it is. I followed what was happening in Victoria really closely, and, you know, Jill Ma's parents and her husband and Adrian Bailey's mother were all very vocal about how stupid it fucking was. For those of you not Australian, Jill Ma was murdered very viciously by a guy who was out on parole who shouldn't have been on parole, and was also waiting for other court appearances for similar assaults and rapes and stuff, like a total piece of shit. And it was an incredibly sad case, and it was sort of one of the first ones where people just went nuts on Facebook and got her face out there. She was missing for a while, and obviously, sadly, she'd been murdered. In fact, it took them a week or 5 days to get him. But don't forget to scream in capitals. Thank you, Scout. I love it that you said that, but you wrote in small ones. But no, you're not yelling at me. Honestly, it's a request. There are heaps of YouTubers that ask their subs to write in capitals, people that have got vision problems and all sorts of stuff. And it's pretty common for people when they're driving, when they're taking you punches on road trips, to ask for capitals too. But if you feel like you're yelling at me, that's your issue, not mine. I don't think you are. I think you're being helpful for me. I only really look at chat when I can, when it's safe to. But and that's why I also apologise when I'm doing road trips if I miss comments. It's not because I don't like you and I don't want to acknowledge your comment. There's only three chats usually visible at a time in a little tiny box on the phone, and they move pretty quickly. So it is a logging truck. Sure is big industry down here, but it's done pretty well. That's another topic. We'll talk about old growth forests another day. But there's a lot of really good sustainable forestry happening in Tassie as well. Huge industry here, big employer. Yeah. I doesn't see a log truck along this road, though, I have to say. Probably the first time I've ever been behind one in 6.5 years I've lived down this way. I don't know what you were going to say, Casper. So back to my other than the logging truck. So back to my topic. Yeah, isn't it interesting? Human nature. It takes something really awful to happen to people personally, despite all of the stories that you hear when you're travelling and meeting people and reading and watching shows and watching YouTube and everything else. It's not really till something happens to you that is soul-destroying, heartbreaking, that you have an epiphany and suddenly to find this wisdom. For example, somebody dying that you love, and even when you lose numerous people, each time you get that kick up the bum again about, right, I've got to stop saying I'm contacting these people and contact them, and I don't want to live with regret that I didn't. But it's just an interesting observation I've made throughout my life about how we're supposed to be so fucking intelligent, and we've got access to all forms of education. Pre-COVID, we were flying all over the world and meeting people from all different walks of life and learning so much from listening to their stories. But it takes something to actually impact you directly for you to learn the biggest lessons. Trying to be kind there and then realise there were too many cars coming the other way. It looks way faster though, Casper. Like, bye, Michelle. Good, thanks for popping in. Take care, Griever. The chick in front of me is a tad bit entitled. I always stop and let people in. She just completely lost her shit at the guy that didn't. And like letting people in that spot's a courtesy. She doesn't actually have the right of way. And yeah, okay, sometimes people don't stop there, but you don't bloody turn into the road rage bitch from hell because someone who had the right of way chose to not stop to let you in. And he was probably too close to the log truck for her to enter safely anyway. Yeah, so human nature. So, I mean, an example I talked about last week was, where are your cats? Yeah, there's a McDonald's back there and a KFC. It's like heart attack corner. And there's a Subway over the road from the McDonald's, but I think they're the only fast food chains. I mean, we've got a Tasmanian bakery chain down here, but they're the only sort of fast food places we've got. Oh, there's a Domino's Pizza as well. Why would you even bother with Domino's? Yep. So many beautiful like wood-fired pizza vans and making your own is always pretty good too. So, like at the end of last year, it was very sad that a girl in the, I don't even know what community she was from, but her husband died of COVID, and suddenly a lot of creators were going live saying, we've got to take this seriously. We've got to start wearing masks. And it's like, what the fuck? It was declared a global pandemic back in March. American cases has now exceeded the entire population of Australia. And you're only starting to take it seriously now. That's an example of what I'm talking about. Why did it take the partner of someone that people on YouTube were close to for them to actually go, shit, we should be taking this shit seriously? And I mean, COVID's an extreme example because it's not like there hasn't been a lot of info flying around since even December in 2019 about it. Admittedly, a lot of people were still posting memes, like with Corona beer and making jokes and stuff about it back in December, January, but there was information out there. So, like, why did it take somebody's death for people to go, oh, that they knew someone close to them? I thought that was my old thing. Why does it have to be something absolutely horrible has to happen for people to have these awakenings? I love the banter between you two in the chat. So that bus probably looks like it's banging it too, Casper, but we're sitting on 60 at the moment. I'm going to be in there pretty early. I'm a bit of a nerd like that. I like to get in. I'm always early for stuff. The partner that's flying in lands in about half an hour, I guess. So, yeah. Then we're just about to go past the airport in a little while. So I'll be in a lot earlier, but I want to catch up with the people I've been doing some work for over the last couple of months. But yeah, why is it that it takes something really horrible to happen to someone close to you for you to suddenly have an epiphany and go, oh, and like I said, the COVID example is pretty extreme. So let's pare it back a little bit. The true crime community kind of overflowed and cross-pollinated with the drama community at some point and became an absolute quagmire of shite. And for 2 years, people just went live over and over and over again, just slamming other people on YouTube. And it was like the whole time it was going on, it was like, what are you fuckwits doing? This is so pointless. Wake up and, for God's sake, have a look at what you're doing and realise it's pointless and stupid. I mean, and I have to say the subs that were sitting in all of those lives and cheering it on and getting involved are just as bad. I mean, it's a, supply and demand kind of scenario. But one of the YouTubers this morning who has been very vocal, and I'm not criticising anyone who has individually felt so inclined to do it, even though I'm criticising them for not stopping doing it, but I'm not taking sides, is what I'm trying to say. I'm certainly not pro or anti any of that crowd. I just think they're entertainment fluff now. That's how I have to look at it, because for a while there it was my living hell. But she's lost someone very close to her, and was sort of begging the community to stop all the fighting. And it's like, again, it's human nature, but why did somebody have to die for that epiphany to occur, that what's going on in those communities and all the lives that they do and all the screaming and yelling and ripping each other to shreds? Why did somebody have to die for them to realise what they're doing is pointless, a massive waste of time? They could be using that time to volunteer and help people. They could be working from home. They could be doing all kinds of shit. But why do they not wake up to how fucked it is until real life gives them perspective? Like the YouTube world, I wish I was a psychologist because I'd write a fucking thesis on it, the psychology of YouTube. But I mean, it's not just YouTube, it happens in real life as well. That people are very, I mean, I'm sure everyone in chat's lost someone. If you haven't, you're a very lucky person. But when you lose someone young, when you're young, and you don't have any friends with that shared experience, a lot of them just disappear. And then a couple of years later, come back to you and go, obviously, they might be back in your life, but at some point they say, I'm so sorry, I didn't say anything at the time, I didn't know what to say. You hear that all the time. And honestly, I honestly wish that they had contacted me and said something really stupid, or even, I mean, not that I'm easily offended, but just I wish they'd said something. Even, I don't know what to say. Hey, Tor, I don't know what to say. Would have been nice, rather than I'm just going to disappear in a hole and pretend this isn't happening to you. And now that they're all starting to lose people, it's once you get over 50, people start dying a lot. And unfortunately, I've got a friend who may not even be with us for another week. And I'm there for them because I know how awful it is when you've lost someone and you're so devastated, and then some of your closest friends abandon you. Poor Scout. What game are you playing in chat? Any other guesses, peeps? What game be that? The three of you bouncing around in chat having a ball. Yeah, it used to give me a major headache, and at one point it gave me major anxiety, and I was already burning out in the job that I was doing and discovering the world of anxiety. And then YouTube became a bit of an escape, a bit of escapism for me, and a place to frolic. And I was so excited about the platform and finding all of these channels. I watched a lady cutting up pineapple 4 different ways today on YouTube. That's the sort of shit I'm into now. But suddenly I was thrown into an horrific experience, and I know that I'm not the only person who's had shitty experiences, but they're all relative. And at the time for me, I was burning out and my anxiety was already through the roof, but at that point I had no idea what it was. And then I had all of that going on, like real life doxing shit and just this constant hate campaign against a creator and a couple of mods. But because I was in the mod group, all of us got thrown out there for the YouTube world to rip apart. And it was hell. And waking up every day, day after day, for what felt like months, maybe 2 months, to another video pointing out how repugnant certain people were, but all of our names were there for everyone to see. Wasn't nice. Private conversations, you name it. So why did I go back there? Oh yeah, so my views of YouTube have changed so much in the last year. It's a platform that I really enjoy. I'm having fun learning how to produce videos for my little channel. I'm really proud of my first one that I did, the little smoothie one. And I'm not taking on any crap at all of the YouTube world. And, in the past I used to get emails about people in my chat, and I won't go on your panel if they're there and all that sort of shit. And I took it all really personally. And now I'm just like, fine, that's your call, it's your issue. I'm not taking shit on. I'm using the platform for what it was intended, and I'm having fun with it. But I'm also still observing things, especially life lessons. And yeah, human nature is just so strange. We're supposedly these highly evolved animals, and yet we're really fucking naive when it comes to learning life lessons. Which bloke's speeding? The one that's going past me now looks like he is, but It's 110 along here. I'm doing 105. I'm having a sip of my green smoothie. I didn't even know creators. That's the rule of my channel is. Well, I mean, sometimes I mention creators, but not in a negative way. Sometimes it's purely just factual stuff. But the creator that I was applied for, I don't know if it helps you with your guessing game, but no, there's no M in their name. Yeah, so I mean, I don't. Maybe over the next couple of centuries, if the planet's still even here, if there's any people left on it might evolve and might have stronger empathy genes or just greater awareness. Because there's been a bit of a shift in some creators thinking in the last couple of months about how this ongoing bitching is bullshit, but it still took them all a fucking long time. And like I said, I mean, subs in a way are responsible for that because if you switch it, if you go live and suddenly you've got 500 people tuning in because you're about to rip somebody else on YouTube to shreds, well, they're going to do it. Like if they went live to have a bitch and nobody watched them, presumably at some point they'd realise that subs weren't into that and they'd give up. But the problem is there's so many subs are into it. And you see subs egging creators on. In chat, you see them going, oh, so-and-so's live and they're bitching about you. Or this person went live just before and they were bitching about this person. Like, there's gossip queens and kings in chats that are adding to the problem. The snowball of ridiculousness isn't just the creators' creations. There's so many subs that are such antagonists and some of them are just, that's all they've ever done on YouTube. But I've been watching these communities for since September 2018. And right from the start, there were subs that was like, wow, every time this sub comes into chat, they derail the conversation, they talk about themselves constantly, they're incredibly negative, they're very critical. And, what is it now? Nearly February 2021, and the same people are still doing it, although some other creators and other subs are starting to get vocal going, Jesus Christ, you're always this way. It's like, why does it take people so long on YouTube when a week in YouTube feels like 6 months in real life? Again, human nature. It's kind of like YouTube's just sort of tapped into a part of people's brains that's sort of different to their brains in their real lives. I mean, I know some of them are addicted to the money that they make, and and it is exciting watching your channel grow and watching, your numbers go up. Like when I was scambaiting, I was getting like 30 or 40 people consistently every time I went live, and I've got to say it was an absolute buzz, and then my channel got struck and I lost my mojo. I mean, I can see that it's a bit like doing stand-up comedy. We're all in it because we've got things we want to say, but a huge part of us also loving it is the approval you get from audiences, not just with what you're saying, but the fact that you're saying it in a funny way as well. Another little word. Hello. Favorite hazelnut. We all have traces of nuts. I was going to be a cashew today, but I'm happy to be a hazelnut. I love hazelnut. I hope one day my body can tolerate alcohol again, because I've got some frangelico in my home, and gee, that's good stuff. Many, many years ago, I had a very hot lover who the first night we decided to do some living, made the taxi go via a bottle shop, and he came back out with 2 bottles of frangelico, and I was like, oh, what's happening here? And he's like, he gave me one of the bottles, and he's like, that one we're drinking, and this one I'm licking off you. That was pretty wild, I gotta say. Frangelico boy, I think the cops are speeding. They're not. It's a 90 zone, and we're all sitting on about 80, heading into a 70 zone. But good to see you. See you, lovable rogue. That's all I really want to talk about. It's just, yeah, human nature. I just think it's really sad that we have to experience something pretty horrible ourselves or someone very close to us for us to learn basic life lessons. Like, yeah, I've got another gorgeous, gorgeous friend who unfortunately has been sick for a while, but she's gone downhill very quickly just in the last, I only had lunch with her last weekend, and according to her partner, literally the next day, she just went downhill super fast, and she's now in palliative care. Just so, so sad. But, you know, I know even when we go to her funeral that there'll be people at the funeral, not our group, we're really tight and we check in on each other all the time. But there will be people there that'll sort of say, oh, I regret that I didn't call her more recently, or, you know, they'll be saying to other people that are there, we should catch up more often. It's a pretty common thing that happens at a funeral, and it's a good awakening if you follow it through. But you don't want to be at a funeral with people saying we really should catch up more often and then don't contact them, and then a few months later you're at another funeral and you're like, oh, maybe I should really, you know, make an effort. She's been sick for a while, Francesca. Hello, darling. I've spoken a little bit about her. I had her and being there, and I've still got one other terminal friend at the moment. But yeah, the 3 girls all dealt pretty shitty cards, so it's just sad. Her prognosis was initially 2 years, and then it got shortened to 6 months only a week and a half ago, and now it looks like we won't even have her by the end of the week, which in a way is a relief. Sometimes it is better if it goes quickly, but it's happened too quickly. We're all just still getting used to the idea we might only have her around for 6 months. And yeah, thank you, Scout. She's still with us, just, but not really. Yeah, I'm not going to go into too many details. She's been really badly ripped off and only turned 50 at the end of last year. Wanted to postpone her party because she was having chemo. It's incredibly sad. Hi, Raven. But I heard people are coming in going, little Hazelda. Hi, Nutsy. But all I can say to that really is fuck cancer, you know, and it ties in with my heading. I think it sucks that, yeah, for being these apparently highly evolved animals that we are, human beings, luck is not the right word. I learned a long time ago to not wait for something awful to happen for me to learn a lesson or a life lesson. But I kind of feel that human beings are kind of stupid that they can't hear somebody's story and empathise, but also learn from it and go, from this day on, I will call people when their name pops into my head. I'm picking up the phone, I'm actually calling them, and I'm going to have a conversation with them and organise to catch up with them. And where's Casper gone? There's a thing telling me I'm doing 32 in a 30 zone right now. Normally I get a little sad face. I didn't get one today. I had slowed down, but so yeah, it's bad news and it sucks. But wow, what a month, like absolute extreme highs and lows, and that's what life is all about. And I guess just on the human nature thing, like if we do something that makes us happy and makes us feel good, or we eat something that we love, or we listen to some music that we love, that imprints, and we know to turn to that thing or that memory, and we have that amazing feeling of goodness. Like we learn, really, here goes the bouncy bridge. It gets you right in the clucker, I can tell you that right now. But we learn and retain that sort of information so easily and so quickly, the good stuff. But the bad stuff, it almost sort of has to happen to you, or it has to be in your backyard for you to learn from it, and that I find so weird. That kind of, this is actually a road, Granny. Teach your kid to jaywalk, Granny. I think Casper's an interesting comment. I mean, I was a criminal defence lawyer, so trust me, I've met people that are way worse than anyone I've met on YouTube. I think on YouTube there are a lot of really messed up people. I think the problem with YouTube is that there are seriously a lot of very, very messed up people. And it's obvious from the fact that they get so fired up and angry and vicious, and just so persistent. And for what, When they switch off the end broadcast button, do they go, well, that was a great live, after they've spent 6 hours just screaming and bitching? And yeah, we're sorry that that's happened to you, Casper. And, I know that I don't know your story, but I've heard plenty of YouTube stories that have made my eyes pop, including my own. And I really thought that initially, the person that was doing it to us has sort of since revealed their true colours, and I hate to say it, but they are in the messed up brigade. And then there's the people that are just genuinely nasty people who now have a voice on YouTube and online and wouldn't probably make any decent friends or have any decent relationships in real life, who are empowered by the anonymity of being online and being able to spout their hatred. And it largely goes unchecked, You think about, I mean, we'll use Casper as the example, but even without Casper sharing his story publicly, he's mentioned it a lot in my chat. And, YouTube's terms and conditions, terms of service, are supposed to protect people on YouTube from the very shit that Casper's been put through. I mean, all of us in some way have, because I think even subs of those channels, and don't get me wrong, they are feeding the creators and giving them the supply and demand stuff, but they're also complicit. You know, they're not. There's very few people that go into those creators' chats and say, "Stop doing this. You're breaching YouTube's terms of service." You know, they're cheering on the creators. I don't think they're as guilty as creators, but they're certainly complicit. But yeah, like I said, though, I mean, I'm starting a new job shortly, and I want to go into a good headspace. And I'm looking at YouTube so differently now. I'm finding where I'm happy. I agree, Scout. Even if you're lurking, though, you're still present as someone watching, right? You're still adding to the viewing time, and the creator's still seeing that there's 200 people. Have you noticed that, though, how many nasty creators at the end of last year in particular, when I was starting to wean myself, not wean, I was already over them, but not lurk. But you go into a live and there'd be 500 people in there, but it was the same 20 people talking. Like, I'd rather have 6 people watching and 6 people talking than have 600 people watching and 3 people talking. But you're still lining their pockets, even if you're a lurker, just by being in there, and just using that platform that you can watch without giving them any views. But they still see a number on the screen, and that gives them a little boner, and they just keep going. I think my channel's fun, Francesca. If you're into smoothies. And yeah, the Thai girl I watched cutting up a pineapples 4 different ways this morning, she was fun. And the guy, there's a channel I've watched for years, a guy whose cat plays the piano, like sort of lies on the strings, and he plays the piano and gives her a massage. That's a fun channel. And I used to love Cooking with Dog, which isn't a channel about cooking with dog meat. I told you I'm super early. I'm like 45 minutes early. That's right. I'll find a park and I'll sit and chat to you groovers for 15 minutes. Hopefully the reception's good in here. I'm not going down that creepy staircase again, though. I found a much more pleasant way to to get out of this car park. I wonder if this is reserved down here, or if this is people parking. Reserved. Oh, send out good vibes. This isn't reserved parking down here, because there's a little gateway that goes straight out to like almost near where I'm working. Doesn't, oh, they're 2 disabled parks. But my hope doesn't say it's reserved. Cool. Although there's people here. Oh, it's a little smoker's den. This is a bit awkward. I might have to flick the camera around. Give those people some privacy. Let me just flick my camera around. Did that work? Hello. Hello, people. They're all looking at me like I'm weird. I can't. You love fun? Who doesn't? But yeah, I've got to get my head into a happy zone. So let's talk some happy shit to end with. Let's find some. The girls are the worst. Well, there's some pretty bad dudes out there too. See, Francesca, you have fun too. Yeah, there's some pretty whack dudes on the YouTubes as well. Start yelling with yourself. Well, funny enough, there's only one girl there now. You're weird, and that's okay. Should I tell my new employer that? You don't need to worry about me. I'm weird, and that's okay. I don't think that'd go down very well at all. Let me just grab what I need. Because I live so far out of town, it's not that far, but far by Tasmanian standards, I have to bring like my entire life in with me in a little basket. I'm gonna have some more of my smoothie too. Let's interview her. If Mel Mel was here, she'd be like, ask her if she knows Mel Mel. And the last time I did that, the people were like, you're weird. And my cute little smoothie thing. So it's got like a little reusable straw. It's got a little thing on it so the straw doesn't fall out. Yeah, parking lots do have a similar look. Although this one's nice where I am. It's a lower ground floor. There's trees along the fence line. It's quite pretty. The people in Sorel who I pulled over and asked if they knew Mel Mel did not know Mel Mel. Now another smoker's arrived. I'm not asking anyone about Mel Mel. I'd like to leave this car park alive. Right, I've got my ticket, have I? I've got to keep focus for a second. So what are you co-hosting with Casper? What was that all about? Biscuit is really good, although she's probably really grumpy that I'm not there now because we've had a lot of time together over the last 5 days and I've been home. I've had a lot of people visiting and doing a lot of stuff, which has been lovely, but mainly been at home, just catching up with people that live down where I live and catching up with people on the beach. We went from one day where it's like 32 degrees, 34 degrees, which is hot for Tassie. It feels like 40. When I lived in Adelaide, you know, people go, oh, Tasmania's so cold. So it's a different heat, man. The sun down here is like intense. You guys are going to interview me? Jesus, I'm not that interesting. Generally, she sleeps in the stairwell. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, can't wait. That'll be fantastic, Raven. I'm very excited. I'll make sure I'm sub to you. This is the smoothie I made yesterday. Learned how to make videos with an app. The pineapple one. So yummy. I would love a Rose. We touch base with each other every day. She's good. She's doing well. I mean, fuck, if you want to talk about people who have really been harassed you know, excessively and unrelentingly for a long time on YouTube. Look no further than Mel Mel. But she's doing good. Trixie, tension. Hello, hello. We're going to promote everyone's channels and stuff. Make sure you're all cross-pollinating and subscribing. And I do need to give some more wrenches out so people can start dropping links. And I finally went and watched Ruth, who pops into my chat. She's done quite a few videos, and I went and had a look at them. Bit of lippage. I only wear like tinted lip balm. I'm such a... The girl that I was doing work placement with in the same building, she sells the most amazing lipsticks, and I was like, oh, lipsticks disappeared from my face in 5 seconds. I just don't bother wearing them. Water bottle. And she's like, that's why you've got to buy these. They don't come off. And I was like, yeah, but I don't want to wake up in the morning and still have lipstick on. Looking lovely. Oh, thanks, Casper. Well, I don't know if I've got a mod at the moment, but if I do, drop some links, dudes. Sorry, putting on the pretty. I haven't done anything that special. And I look quite orange for some reason in this light. I don't think the car park light is very flattering. My ponytail's really quite high, but I look like I'm totally bald too. Let's not critique my looks too much. I won't get out of the car. No mods, right? I'll have to sort that out too. I got my channel back and I'd taken all my mods off except for a couple when it was struck, just because it was kind of like I had too many. I don't need many. I mean, I watch channels that have got like 100,000 people in their lives and they don't have one mod. Casper's rolling out the jokes. Nice one, Groover. Just going to make sure I've got what I need. My wallet. I'll have my phone in a minute. I've got lip balm, some pens. Actually, let's find a grown-up's pen. They're all... Oh, actually, that's the lippy I wanted to put on. It's not really lippy, but... Thank you, Scout. I'm so excited about this gig. Like, it could not be more perfect for me for so many reasons. And they're such great guys too, and girls, and they do some pretty awesome stuff. And it's going to be really lovely to be a part of that. Sunny's reading glasses. We're getting there. But yeah, I'm really excited, and we're going to go out for dinner. So I might go live when I'm driving home. I like having company on the drive home. Casper, you done good. I used to do a joke on stage when I was doing comedy about all the different careers and jobs I've had, and I said, I thought about becoming a sex worker, but then I realised I couldn't get a free route, so I figured it wasn't going to be a very lucrative career move. But yeah, I'm very, very excited about today and learning a bit more about the firm and what I'll be doing. And they'll probably in the morning do a Zoom in with all the other... Every morning they've got a lot of regional offices. They Zoom in and just check in on all the staff and that everyone, have you got too much work? Do you need more work? Do you need help with something? Any issues? Anyone need, assistance with something? Like so-and-so is not here today, so, so call so-and-so. Like, they just do a little check-in, and I think that's so kind. I'm starting Lovable Rogue in just over half an hour. So no settling in yet. Soon. But I really like how progressive they are. I really like the cases that they take on, the way they operate. They're not your typical stiff upper lip, old fashioned style firm. They're very progressive and modern and doing some pretty cool stuff. Glasses, check and check. Yep. Pens, got them. Lunch bag, no lunch bag. I had some lunch before I left home, and this is a green smoothie just to get me through the afternoon. I've got my water bottle, fabulous smile, and a positive attitude. And I'll check my teeth before I get out of the car that I don't have some bit of mint stuck in my teeth. Don't you hate that when you've like spent a day in the office and then you get in your car and you're like, I've got a bit of green in my teeth from lunch. Why didn't anyone fucking tell me? Good on a chat line. I was in remember Tropfest? The Aussies in my chat. It was like this annual film festival and award. They gave out awards. It was for like up and coming filmmakers, but they were really short films. There was a time limit. I can't remember what it was. And every year they gave a topic, like a theme. Anywho, I was a sex phone operator person in one called Lovely Lola. I've still got it on video. I should get it put onto DVD or a stick and then upload it and stick it up on my channel, although my acting in it is very bad. But I was a sex line operator, and I'm ironing clothes the whole time. I'm saying, give it to me, baby. Lovely Lola. Definitely no green tea. And then I'm having dinner with the partner who's coming down. And because of the building that he's in, where I've been on my work placement for the last few weeks, he often goes out to dinner with the girls as well. So it'd be good fun. We'll go out to dinner somewhere and then head home. And then tomorrow I'll have a full day. So I'll be up, a spider in my head. Jesus. Um, why did you say that? We're talking. I'm about to start a new job, for fuck's sake. No spideys after that spider on my dashboard. No more spideys. Happy stuff, guys. No green in my teeth, but no spiders anywhere. Mm. So I've got a couple of videos that I want to get put onto sticks, or because I don't even have a CD player thing in my computer anymore. I've got the one of me skydiving. I want to get that. It's ridiculous. The music, like when we're taking off in the plane, it's Born to Be Wild, and then when I jump out of the plane, Eye of the Tiger comes on. And I remember when we'd all landed, they showed us a video like of what they were making ours out the back, but the sort of thing you were going to get. And the one that they showed us was really cool footage, really cool music, and I'm like, awesome. And we all went back to the same house afterwards and watched them all. And yeah, fucking Eye of the Tiger, which was my dad's favorite song, so that was kind of funny. But there's this silence as I fall out of the plane, and then doom, 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 doom. And I swallowed a fly right before when we're getting ready and all rigged up. I swallowed a fly, and I'm like, ugh. And they're going, "Are you okay? Are you nervous?" I'm like, "No, I just swallowed a fly." You're only here because I drowned the huntsman. The thing got blasted out of my car, hopefully. Although, like Mel said, that it's still hiding somewhere. It's like, ugh. So yeah, I'll get those videos somehow. Because who's owned a VCR in the last 20 years? I know there's a place here you used to be able to take them in and they stick them on a CD for you, but I have no way of converting a CD to putting it onto my computer, so I'll have to find out what I can do. But lovely Lola was not great acting. All right, I'm going to go. I want to go in and see the girls before my new boss arrives. Thanks for hanging out with me, Groovers. I'll check my teeth before I go. Have a good day, night. You're out of sight, and I might go live on the drive home, tell you how it all went, and just so you can keep me company. I'll get home to Biscuit, who'll be ravenous. I've left enough food out for her for the day, but she'll be super hungry, and then she's not going to be happy tomorrow when I get up really early and leave for a full day in town. But anyway, I need to get one of those little cameras so I can see what she's up to while I'm at work. I know how many it's funny, Casper, how many people do you reckon like just binned or hard rubbish their VCRs because porns was stuck in them? Thanks, Scar. Thanks, Trixie. Good to see you. Thank you to everyone who hung out with me. Have a great night or day, like I said, and yeah, I'll fill you in on how my first half day. It's only for like 3 hours. It's a pretty easy first day. So I'll chat to you all soon. Stay groovy, everyone. Love you guys. Bye.